So I am going to make another soup because I love my soup. So I've got my crock pot. I'm cooking some sausage. I got those, I think they're Knotwurst sausage. Anyway, I cut them in little coins. So I'm going to turn them on and I'm going to cook them up. I'm not going to use oil or anything because I'm just going to cook them up. I'm going to soak some celery in some baking soda. So I soak the celery in baking soda. I've got my salsa. So I'm going to put my salsa in my soup. I'm going to put my beef bouillon, beef broth. I'm going to put a couple of onions, some nice size onions. And right now I've got only 4 potatoes, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them, I'm going to dice them fine, and I'm going to put them in. And I'm also going to put some baby carrots. So that's all that's going in this, and of course some water that has been boiled, because I do not drink the water from the tap, the fluoride. So what I do is I boil it. Now I'm going to have to soak my vegetables in baking soda because it gets rid of most of the pesticides. So I'm going to soak it in baking soda. Maybe I'll take 3 or 4 of them out and put them in the soup. But indeed, that's all that's going to go into this, but it makes a full pot of soup and it lasts me for 2-3 days at times. So I'm going to get started on this and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm boiling my potatoes. I soaked my carrots in baking soda and water to get the pesticides out. So I soak them, I rinse them, and now I'm boiling them. I've got some celery cut up to put in the soup, and my sausage is almost cooked. So almost ready for the final prep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, the tomatoes are a little bit frozen, and because tomatoes have a lot of lectins, what I'm going to do is, because I freeze my tomatoes, I'm going to literally just squeeze and take the skin off, because the skin has got a lot of lectins in it. So I'm going to take the skin off and then I'm going to put them in the crock pot. The first thing I'm going to put in the crock pot is my salsa, tostitas. So I'm going to put that in. Almost broke it. Then I'm going to put my onions. I got a bowl of onions. I like this kind of cooking because I don't got to worry about it. And then I'm going to put my sausage pieces that I've done. I'm going to put that in. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my beef bouillon in. I'm still waiting on my potatoes and my carrots. So I got my celery. I got to wait for my carrots to boil, my potatoes to boil. So next I'm going to put in my broth and then my celery. So I've put in some broth and bring this to the light. So I've put in my broth, my beef bouillon, I put in my onions, I put in my little sausage halves. Next I'm going to put in my celery. Whoa. Nice looking celery though. So now the carrots are taking forever and the potatoes still aren't done. So I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to skin my tomatoes and I'm going to put them in and add some water and let it cook down. So the very last 2 things I'm going to put in, well, I should say first, I put pepper, and I like lots and lots of pepper in my stews. In my soups, I like lots of pepper. So what I do is I usually use this peppercorn one, but my top is broken, so I don't know how I'm going to get it. So I've been using this black pepper. Get it from the dollar store. It's good. I also have some pink Himalayan salt, and I've put that in there. Okay, so normally it comes like this, but once again, you know, the containers aren't always the best when you buy at certain stores. So that's that. Lots and lots of pepper in there. I love my soups to be very, very hot. So I'm waiting on the potatoes and the carrots, and then we'll be done. And the next thing I'm going to do after the soup is ready, I bought some sour cream. So on the top of the bowl of soup, I'm going to put a dollop of 14% sour cream. So, I mean, you know, I might be going off diet a little bit, but it's so good. And some jalapeno cheese. So I'm going to put a bunch of cheese in there, but first what I'll do is I'll put some sour cream and then I'll sprinkle some jalapeno cheese on top of it. And I'm going to serve that with a homemade bun. Indeed, I'm going to make some homemade bread, and I will have homemade bread for the rest of the week, homemade buns, and I'll show you that process tomorrow. But tonight I'm just making the soup, and I'm going to enjoy the soup with crackers tonight. So I'm looking forward to this pot of soup being done, and we're just going to put the potatoes and the carrots. So it's all done. This is what it looks like. I have sour cream, I have cheese, I have carrots, potatoes, celery, the broth that I made. It is going to be amazing. It is absolutely going to be amazing. And it made a full crock pot, okay? And I literally had to take some out and put it in a pot because it made so much. So it literally made a lot. Now, I'm going to enjoy this. So I hope you give the recipe a try. I mean, it's a crock pot, you know. It's like it holds everything in the kitchen sink. So see you in the next video. Bye-bye.